Hey guys, it's Jen from over at worldofjencraft.com, and this is our project for today. It uses the treat bag framelits dies, and I decided to bring some punch art back. Isn't that bunny just absolutely the cutest? Oh my goodness. So I did not come up with this bunny on my own. I did find it on Pinterest. There was quite a few little variations of him, and I ended up just kind of putting it together according to the punches and dies and everything else that I had on hand. So without further ado, let's get to our project and I'll show you how I put it together. So the supplies that I used are the powder pink finely woven ribbon and some powder pink ink because I did sponge all of the edges. The treat bag framelits dies, so this is all you get in that. Isn't that really cool? And this treat bag can be used for so many different things. The layering ovals framelits. And this really fun basket weave embossing folder. Now this is combined with a stamp set and is free with a $100 purchase through Celebration now through the end of March. So love, love, love. This could be my next favorite embossing folder. All right, so the list of punches. I have a 1 3/4 inch punch. And I did use the Owl Builder punch for the eyes, so for some of the smaller circles in this. A 3/4 inch punch, and my 1/2 inch punch. And of course my punches are all old and, you know, they're the old style, but they still work, they still punch. And then I did use some basic gray, just the regular marker to do a little hand stuff on it. Whatever that's called. All right, so let's get to the actual cardstock. Now I have everything pre-punched and pre-die cut. The only thing we're going to be doing is the embossing with the Big Shot today. So I'll go over quick what all of these little supplies are if I can finish getting this out of my bag. So let's start with the powder pink cardstock. And what you're going to need for this is a 6 1/8. Now 6 1/4 will fit the Big Shot still. 6 1/8 fits it exactly edge to edge, this particular piece. And then you will get, so what I did is I cut my cardstock 6 1/8 by 8 1/2. And I got my treat bag out of it. Plus I also got these 4 ovals that are 3/4 inch, maybe a little bit more, by 1 3/4. And I also got a little 1/2 inch circle and a 1/4 inch circle. Now my 1/4 inch circle came from my Owl Builder punch, just because I don't have a singular one. For Whisper White, you are going to need 2 1 3/4 inch circles. And you're going to need 4 ovals, which are 1 1/16, so about 1 by 2. And then you'll need 2 3/4 inch circles. And then these little itty bitty teeny tiny circles here are, I think, about a 1/16 to 1/8 inch. And again, that came from my Owl Builder's punch. And then you'll need basic black, which these are 1/4 inch circles, and you'll need 2 of those, and those came from my Owl Builder as well. So I think what we're going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is assemble this treat pouch. Now I have already cut this out, and then you are just going to score along these score lines here that are automatically done for you when you run it through the Big Shot. So this one just has one running along this side, so we'll go ahead and get that down. Now when you go to assemble the box, you're going to want to make sure that this side is, we want it to go like this, so it's all going to get assembled like that. So I'm going to put my adhesive running down this portion. And I'm just using Fast Fuse, but you want to make sure that you use something that's a little more sturdy, that's going to hold on. So I'm just gonna, I found for this one, it was easier to match up from the bottom. So I'm gonna go from the score line here at this bottom to the edge here. And I'm just gonna line up my scored edges along there. And then I'm gonna flip it over and just kind of make sure that my edge matches all the way. And then we're just going to seal that there. And then let's go ahead, and this is going to go on the inside. So you'll bring these towards each other, and this is the edge here that you're going to want to put your adhesive to seal the bag. And then you're also going to want to run some adhesive going down this bottom portion here. So that's just going to fold in like this. This is going to come over the top of it, and we're going to just seal that there. And then this bottom flap is going to come up right there. And so there we have it. That is our treat bag. Super simple to put together. So what I did is I went ahead and I brought out my embossing folder and I embossed this entire treat pouch. So you're going to want to lay it down here. And this top portion here that says Sizzix and Stampin' Up, that is where you want to place the front of your pouch. So we're just going to put this here, and I'm using the regular plate that comes with the Big Shot and just one of the top plates on this that just goes over the top. And it is kind of a tight squeeze, but it's nice because then you know that your embossing is going to be nice and deep on that. And so this is what it turns out to be like. Isn't that basket weave just super cool? So this would also, I mean, this would work great for any of the embossing folders that you have. Of course, I think about my hexagons because that's my favorite one of all time. I think that would be really beautiful on that as well. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just, I have a sponge here, and the round sponges that Stampin' Up sells cut into quarters works as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to be pretty generous with putting my ink along the edges here. And I'm going to do it all along them. And I want to make sure I get the top edge here. And then I kind of slightly opened this up, so you're going to kind of have it rounded like that, and that is how I got my ink to go onto this front part of that pouch. So that is that. That's all the sponging we're going to do for that. Now I did sponge all of my edges, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back magically with all of my edges sponged. So I have just about all of my edges sponged, but I wanted to show you quick for these little itty bitty tiny ones. I used my tweezers and I just kind of grabbed a hold of it like this and then just ran my sponging around the edge of that. And then once I reached that point, I just kind of flipped it and finished off my sponging. So you can sponge even the tiniest little pieces. Let's get to putting the bunny together. So I'm going to go ahead and put him together off of my bag. I want him fully assembled. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive down towards the bottom portion of this circle. And then I want to place it, I don't know, probably about like this. And then I want to put all of my powder pink ovals onto the tops of the Whisper White ovals, and I put them so the edge of this oval comes almost down to the very edge of the Whisper White. And then I'm just going to place that like that. So you're going to have more at the top than you will at the bottom. That's what it's going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere all 4 of these, and I will be right back. Now that we have all 4 of our powder pink ovals on the white, we are going to place 2 of them are going to be the bunny's ears. And I put that on the wrong side, so let's get this on the right side here. And those are just going to come up here. I think I put a little too much adhesive, so let me pull some of that back because you don't need that much. Let's see if that'll work. Yep, that'll come. I think I might pull a little bit more of that down. All right, so now that's kind of an ugly mess, but that's not going to be seen. So I'm just going to bring that down like so. And let's do it again on this side here. And they're not going to touch exactly at the top, but they are going to come right up next to each other. So it'll look something like that. And then for our little feet, what I did is I just took, and not so good, don't look too closely at mine, but I went ahead and just put like 3 little lines kind of to make little toe marks, I guess. Nothing fancy, I'm not that artistic, so that'll work, huh? And let's put those on. And those are just gonna go down on his body, and they're going to come down slightly off of it and then off to the side. So again, our feet are not going to overlap. If I can get this on here right. So they're going to come down probably, I don't know, I'd say maybe like that. So this is what we have so far. And our cheeks, I did use larger, just some glue dots, and so I just put that in the center of each of my cheeks. And those are going to come down, and I kind of found it easier just to put them down at the same time because you want them touching, but you don't want them overlapping, and you want some part of the edge of his face here. So just like that. This little itty bitty tiny one is going to go underneath, and I'm going to use a small dot for that one. And then I'm going to just take it with my tweezers, excuse me, and that's going to go up and underneath of his cheeks. It's like a little, I guess, his tongue sticking out. So kind of just maneuver that up so it's centered underneath of there, because you don't need a ton of it hanging out, just a tad. So that should be just about right. And let's put his nose on. And again, I used a glue dot, so I'll just use one of my larger glue dots to put the nose on. Fits just perfectly on there. And the glue dot underneath gives it a little bit of a lift. So we're gonna stick his nose probably right about here. And then let's take our marker and we're gonna draw in some whiskers, which again, I'm not an artist, so yeah, so bear with me on this. Yeah, but it turns out cute anyways. So just kind of come in, maybe make these a little bit longer and this one a little bit shorter. Then once we have our little whiskers on there, I just went ahead and just put a few kind of dots in through here, just kind of randomly on either side. Maybe give them little freckles or whatever those are. I don't know. And then let's put our little eyes on. So that's going to get stuck on with a couple of little tiny mini glue dots. And they are going to come probably right about here. And now he's coming to life. Isn't he cute? So on some of the samples that I saw on Pinterest, they took like a white gel marker or something of that sort, and they used that to color in the eyes. So my thing just came off of my fine tip glue pen. So let me grab out, I do have some of this Tombow to stick his glues on. So let me see if I can do this without getting a ton on there. I might come back and get some of that off. And then this is where it gets kind of tricky, because these little tiny, tiny Whisper White circles are kind of, they're tiny, they're hard to put on. So I'm going to put my little eyeballs on. And our bunny is done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals all on the back side of this bunny. So I was pretty darn generous with my Stampin' Dimensionals. I just wanted to make sure that he was all evenly on there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take off this one and this one, because I wanted my bunny ear to kind of flip up a little bit at the top. So I'm just going to kind of gently curl it with my thumb, and that way he has even more dimension. His little ears are going to kind of come up. And then you just go ahead and throw them on the front of your little treat bag, and I kind of put them at an angle. And then the last thing that I did is I created a bow. So I'm just going to bring it forward, bringing this back behind me, and then pulling down on it to get it to the size that I want for my little bunny. And this is it's a little thicker ribbon. So it's not as easy to work with. You kind of do have to really work at it to get it into the size that you want. So I think I want to come down maybe just a little bit more with it. So I'm just going to pull it down here and pull it there, and then give it one last tug, and that should be just perfect. Pull my tails down a little bit, and then let's go ahead and just trim it off. I didn't want it too big, so I didn't want to take it completely away from the bunny, but he just felt like he needed a little something in that area to kind of complete the look. So I'm going to use a glue dot, and then we're just going to stick that down right here, so then you don't even see where his face meets his body. It just kind of nicely covers that up. So I wanted it so it didn't quite cover up his cheeks, but was nicely proportioned. And that's it, guys. That is our cute, cute, cute little treat bag. Wouldn't that be fun to give out as a gift for Easter? So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It was kind of fun playing with punched pieces again. I'm bringing it back. Yay! Yeah, so thanks for watching. I will have dimensions in a PDF that you can download and print if you so wish, and it will also include a supply list over on my website, worldofjencraft.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I will check you on my next tutorial. Bye.